Should you get and build Kikyou? Short answer, probably yes. Long answer, this entire video. Now gentlemen, as you may know that she is the debuffer and buffer of Sonic attack type. Oh, and heavy defense, right. Her X skill applied debuff to enemies within range, and dealing damage is additional. Though not necessarily meant for the boss since the damage dealt are not much reliable. But to delete trash mob is good. The defense debuff she applied can be useful pretty much on the new raid boss soon, which we will talk about that boss on another video. And her basic skill apply Sonic effectiveness buff to all allies within range. The more allies get buffed as the better buff scale. If hearing buff attack type effectiveness for the first time, it meant to be attack type damage is increased as it was meant for the right defense type only. So for Sonic effectiveness buff will apply into Sonic attack type and will deal more damage into defense that are weak to it, or the elastic defense type. Enhanced skill is not particularly useful for most player. If you are not an expert, you will have no idea what it does. Even with enhanced skill plus, both are probably meant nothing to you and is there as filler. Alright, sub-skill is kind of confusing to read. 40 LDR is elf buff but somehow useful. So she apply attack buff to herself which will do nothing with cheap investment but that's fine. However she gain a stack called Furinkism, and the maximum for this stack is 3. If there's 3 stacks, X skill cost of all allies except herself is reduced by 1. That is Kokona sub-skill for sure, or similarly, she will gain the stack passively. You will barely notice until it reach the maximum number and uses her X skill. Decrease X skill cost by 1 sound low but it could be very useful. Now back again to answer your question gentlemen. Should you get her? It depends. What if I answer yes and told you the reason? You see in JP, Twin Maidens appear as Sonic attack type, and it's possible that Kikyou might be useful again soon. In JP of course, for global is still 5 months for now I guess. I don't know, I don't count, because Kikyou is the only supporter that buffs Sonic attack type passively. It could be possible that there will be content for Sonic attack type again. I could be wrong again though, but Purple Grand Assault ticket does exist. Not worth pulling for those are too poor to get her. After collaboration banger that armors to get and will never get rerun. If you only able to spark one student, I suggest you to get Himari. Already have Himari, then it's hair camp and save until NY Fuka for those who don't have, should be have spare on Fest banner. Now what if you skip collab banner and decided to pull Kikyou? Wise choice. The cheapest build for her is 3 stars with maximizing basic skill first, and then go for her X skill. You could ignore the other 2 skill if you are not into competition. But for insane, she could contribute portion of damage, so max all the gear if you are into it. Also the other 2 of her skill that is ignored. You see, she need new rare artifact there, so not necessary to max it all, just the necessary first like her basic skill and X skill, then the other 2 skills. So that's it gentlemen, she may be relevant Sonic supporter again in near future content and who knows, and skip for those who's too poor. The other option is borrow her. That should be all. As always, Godspeed.